All right, wanted to use the Flex Softball Simulator app here to show you something cool that Virginia Tech, for example, did at every home plate meeting, and a lot of top programs do this with the Flex DP rule. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. We're going to use mock lineup. Obviously, you could create your own lineup if you want to put the names in and stuff, and the app will save that for you if you load previous lineups. You can change the name, have different lineups, but we're just going to use mock lineup for now. So the app has a bunch of generic names. And here's our lineup. Now, again, this is what Virginia Tech, it's what a lot of really good programs do in a situation where they have the flex. So that means you have a DP and you have a flex. Your flex is your pitcher, and your flex as the pitcher can swing it a little bit. Okay, maybe they're not good enough to be in your top 9, but they can hit. And, maybe they are good enough to be in your top 9, but you want them mostly focusing on pitching. You don't want to have them necessarily start as a pitcher and a batter. They're just going to start in the flex, but maybe they could come in and get a pinch hit, once in a while. So this is what you can do in that situation when you have a pitcher in your flex that can hit a little bit, but you don't necessarily want them starting as a batter. So right now, we're going to say Avery Russell is going to be our starting shortstop. She's our 9 batter, really good defensively, but maybe, someone that maybe our pitcher is a better hitter than, because, she's batting 9th. She's not like our best hitter. Casey Weiss is going to be our DP, batting 7th, so we'll say Weiss is a better hitter than Russell. And so what we can do here to give our flex a chance to bat for Russell rather than Weiss, because you should know with the flex DP rule, if not, look into some of these other videos, you should know that the flex can only bat for the DP, right? So if our pitcher goes into hit, it can only be for Weiss if Weiss is our DP. However, what we can do is we can make Russell our DP to start the game, and then switch Russell into the shortstop position. So I'll show you how we can do that. So again, this lineup right now has not been submitted yet to the umpires. We can make any change we want. We can move people around in the order if we want. And so what we're going to do, again, remember, we want Russell at shortstop when the game starts. But right now, we're going to switch. We're going to go to this button here to switch positions. We're going to put Russell at DP, and we're going to go Weiss to shortstop. Okay, so again, that's not how the game will be. Russell's actually going to be at short, but we have Weiss here at DP. We're going to switch them. So now Weiss, we're going to submit the lineup to the umpires to start the game with Weiss at shortstop, even though Weiss is going to be, hitting only as our DP basically. But technically Russell is going to be our DP, even though we will move Russell to shortstop, okay? And again, that is because we have Carver here, our flex, who's pitching. We want Carver to be able to pinch hit for Russell because, Russell's not as good of a hitter as Weiss. Okay, so we submit this. We're going to go to submit down here at the bottom. That's just the same as when you turn in your lineups to the umpires at the plate meeting. So again, this makes lineups official. The umpires tell you at this point, or they should if they're doing their job correctly, they say, hey, coaches, now all lineups are official. Would you like any changes? Okay, so we're going to proceed here. And now this is the change we will tell the umpire. So again, we have 10 with our flex. We have Russell, who we want to be at shortstop, is our DP. So now that the lineups are official, what we can do is we can put our DP into the field to play shortstop. So we're just going to go up to the option bar here, and we're going to go to position changes, and we're going to click DP takes field. So that's all we need to tell the umpire. We say, hey, I want my DP going into the field, taking the field. And so again, this tells you some of the notes. You can read that if you want, but I'll explain it. Basically, our DP is going to be playing shortstop, so we're switching positions here with Weiss. So now we are back to how we wanted to start the game with Weiss hitting only, but Weiss is called the OP. That's the offensive player now, because Russell is technically still the DP, but is playing the field, playing shortstop. Yes, you can do that in the game of fast pitch softball. the cool part of the rule. So now we have Russell playing short where we want her. We have Weiss batting only. And we have Carver, who's our flex, who can pitch, now can bat for Russell. So again, let's say, we go through the order once, Russell's at bat, doesn't look great, whatever. Second time through, we want to pinch hit because we want Carver, our pitcher, to get in at bat. Carver's a pretty good hitter. So now we can go Carver in for Russell. And so all we do, we're going to go up to the bar, we call time, we tell the umpire, hey, I want my flex batting for the DP. So here at the substitution bar, we're just going to go to flex DP changes. We're going to go flex enters for DP. And that means we're down to 9. So it means we won't have an OP anymore, technically. So the flex bats for the DP, we're down to just 9. And technically our OP goes to whatever spot is open. That's going to be shortstop in this case. But then when we flip it back, so, let's say Carver has her at bat. We, finish the inning. We don't want Weiss at shortstop. Remember, Weiss is basically a DP type player. So now we just re-enter. We say, hey, time blue, I want Russell coming back in to the DP spot, and I want Carver going back to the flex. So we could just click the quick button here, re-entry. We could go up to here if you want, but we're just going to click re-enter. So now Russell comes back into the 9 spot, back in the DP spot. That's the only place Russell can re-enter to. Carver is back in the flex, and now we have Weiss at short, so we just need to make clear, hey, I want Russell, my DP, into the shortstop position, and of course that's going to make Weiss the OP. So we'll make that change again here real quick. We're going to go to DP takes field, and we're going to do what we did at the start. So Weiss now is our OP, offensive player batting only. Russell is at shortstop, still in the DP position, because you cannot change who your DP is once the lineups are submitted, once the game starts. So that's why we did that, after we submitted it to the umpire. We said, hey, Russell's my DP, and Russell's going to be playing shortstop. So now let's say we do it again. Okay, so Russell has come out of the game. Russell has used his substitution. So let's say it's like the 6th, 7th inning, and Carver had a good at bat last time, and we want Carver to hit in this spot. So we're going to do it again. So we say, hey, time blue, I want my flex batting for the DP. So we're going to go to DP flex enters for DP. That's going to, of course, fill the shortstop position now with the OP, because we can't have an OP since we're down to 9. So now Carver is in that spot again, going to bat. But Russell now already came out of the game one time earlier, came back in, and now came out again, so has used her substitution. So now, let's say Carver gets a hit, and I don't know, we're in extra innings or something, or it's the 7th, and now, we want Carver to still pitch. Obviously, we could just stay at 9, but remember, Weiss is not a good shortstop. So we could sub a shortstop. Let's say Blake Martinez is a shortstop. We could just go Blake Martinez right in for Weiss and leave it at 9. But let's say, we want Weiss still batting in the lineup as the OP, as the offensive player. So what we can do is we'll go up to the substitution bar. We're going to go back to 10. We're going to put Carver back into the flex, and that's going to leave the DP spot open though. So that can be Blake Martinez, who plays shortstop. Okay, so we'll go up to the substitution. We're going to go to reinstate the DP back to 10. So all you have to tell the umpire, hey, we're going to go back to 10. So Carver's going to go, back into the flex. And so now the app's going to say, okay, who do you want to be the new DP? So again, we're going to go Blake Martinez, since she can play shortstop. And so now, again, we just need to switch these two. We're going to say Blake Martinez is my new DP, and the DP is going to be playing the shortstop position. So again, that'll turn Weiss into the OP. So we just have to do what we did before. We're going to go to position changes. DP takes the field in the app here, and we're going to switch with Weiss. So again, now Weiss, we're going to switch Weiss and Martinez here. So now Weiss will become our OP, offensive player, still just batting only. And Martinez off the bench is the shortstop. Carver still staying at the pitcher. So a lot of options that you can do with this cool rule, but keep that in mind when you have a pitcher that you might want to bat for any of your players, you just label that player as the DP before the game starts. And then when you turn the lineup into the umpires, you put your DP into the field, into whatever position you want them to play. And then your flex can bat for that DP spot.